Hi, I'm Susie Burrell. Welcome to this online meeting created especially for members of the Biggest Loser Club. The meeting will run for about 15 minutes, followed by a 15-minute live chat. As always, you can post comments at any time in the form below. So let's get into it. This week, we bring you the pleasure principle. Food is first and foremost a source of nourishment. But if it doesn't taste good, how can you stick to your diet? Today, I'm lucky to have two celebrity chefs on hand to discuss how we can boost the flavour without blowing the calories. Courtney, you're a cook, you're a successful chef on MasterChef, and you've designed many of the recipes on the Biggest Loser Club's website. I get home late from work and I've got 10 minutes. What do you suggest I prepare?
I think everyone's after a 10-minute meal these days. Look, things like seafood, a lot of people are afraid of cooking seafood, but a simple portion of fish or prawns, they literally will cook in about 3 to 4 minutes. So there's a super quick meal. You're going to actually have time left over from the 10 minutes. While the fish is cooking, I'd suggest, throwing a quick salad together while the fish is cooking. Give it some time to rest. It won't even take you 10 minutes.
Oh, that sounds perfect. But for all the members who are thinking, oh, yuck, tomato, lettuce, what suggestions have you got for them?
I think the days of a salad just being some rabbit food, being lettuce and tomato and cucumber are gone. I'm big on salads, and you can put a lot of things into salads. Things like couscous, things like chickpeas, newer things like quinoa. They're really filling things. Use grains as well in the salads, and they really will be the main part of the meal rather than just the side dish that they used to be.
You can come and prepare dinner for me anytime. I'm always available. Now, Jimmy, tell me, you are a passionate cook. What inspires you with your cooking?
I guess my food journey has changed quite a lot over the last few years. I lost 50 kilos about 6 or 7 years ago, and I learnt really quite some time ago that it's really important to understand the consumption of energy and what you're eating.
Tell me, what is the most important thing you've learnt about food along the way?
Look, some of the most important things that I've learned about food is really understanding the calorific value, the energy value, and really reading those food labels.
I think that's where cooking meals for yourself and preparing them yourself really is important. You know exactly what's going into the dishes, and ultimately you know exactly what's going into your body, and you've got control over everything.
That just really emphasises how important it is to know the calorie contents of the foods that you're eating, because of course we go to restaurants and we really have no idea just how much fat, sugar and added salt is in those recipes. Now, how, Courtney, do you think that you can really increase the flavour of a recipe without increasing the calories?
It's actually really quite easy. Using things like citrus, lemons, limes, oranges, their juice and their zest, herbs, we've got an abundance of herbs, spices, Jimmy would know all about that. Things like chilies, garlic, ginger, you're adding in a lot of flavour without actually adding in any calories.
Which is fantastic. Now, Jimmy, you are known for your Indian cooking. Tell us about your chili crab curry.
Well, I mean, that's inspiration in itself. That's got about 73 ingredients in there, and it doesn't have a lot of fatty ingredients per se in there. It's more about the spices and enhancing the natural flavours from the spices that you do put in there.
But, I get really freaked out with spices, and there are so many in that recipe. How do you know what to use for when?
Look, that was my signature dish, and that had to have every spice in the book in there, but you really only need a handful of spices to make food taste fantastic.
Lots of people who are trying to lose weight are just not that confident in the kitchen. Courtney, what is your best advice for someone who's relatively new to the kitchen?
Someone who's new going into the kitchen, I would say, look, to get some good results and to build confidence would be use what's in season. We always harp on about this, but honestly, food that's in season, it has better flavour and it needs less prep, and it's going to be much easier to cook and much more enjoyable. And I think if you're in the kitchen and you're enjoying it, then you're going to be more likely to stay with it and start experimenting and enjoying the whole experience of cooking. Keep it simple as well. You can always expand after that, but keep it simple. So
start with the basics. What about you, Jimmy? What's your best advice to our new cooks out there?
I think you start off with Courtney's keep it simple, but then you move on to adding spices. Really pick the ingredients that are fresh, that are in season, but most importantly is to taste. Along the way, always taste the food and make sure you're really happy with it.
Make sure you're on the right track with the recipe in general.
Of course.
Now, the best advice I also give my clients who are planning on heading into the kitchen is to invest in a good non-stick fry pan, and then of course use a spray oil, because of course you use so much less oil when you use a spray variety. Now, I'm going to put you guys on the spot, and that if we consider that an ideal meal contains half a plate of salad or veggies, a quarter of lean protein and a quarter of carbs, what would you come up with?
I'd have to say, being put on the spot, I would pick a theme to make things a lot easier. So I'd go, right, let's look at something Middle Eastern. Let's get some chicken, and we'd put some sumac on that. Here goes my keep it simple theory out the door. But I'd run with that and start going, right, what goes with that? Let's use some, some lemon zest and parsley and coriander and get all them flavourings that we just talked about. Things like pomegranate, putting fruits in also adds a lot of flavour, and I'd serve that with a small portion of couscous.
And of course, plenty of veggies.
If it was a summertime thing, you could use things like cherry tomatoes and cucumbers as well. Pick it to suit the weather as well.
Sounds so nice. Jimmy, what about you? What would you come up with?
Really on the spot, that sounds fantastic. But look, keeping to a theme, my Indian theme, I'd have to go with some tandoori spiced prawns, probably an eggplant and coriander salad. I'd go with a side of Indian rice, which is basmati rice, which is low GI, which is keeping the healthy options open.
They both sound delicious. You have certainly inspired me. Thank you so much for joining us today. This week, I want all of you at home to try Courtney's chicken or Jimmy's prawn recipe. Or come up with your own suggestion and share it on the forums. I love hearing the creative ways that the members make this diet your own. And now it's time to put the spotlight on some of our high achieving members. So over to you, Commando Steve, for this week's member moment.
Thanks, Susie. And this week's member moment, it's time to celebrate some of our girls who've worked hard and got themselves into the healthy weight zone. Congratulations, Rihanna Poole. She's lost 28 kilos, or over 30% of her body weight, and now has a BMI in the 20s. Way to go, Michelle Sargent. Losing 18 kilos and getting in under BMI 25 is an impressive achievement. Great effort, Rowena Howe. She's maintained her weight loss for almost a year now and is looking fantastic for it. Well done, Claire Dernan. You look amazing after losing 19 kilos. All in all, that's an awesome effort, ladies. If there's someone you think deserves recognition, I want to know. Nominate your friends or your forum buddies. We've included a shout-out form in every meeting topic. Back to you, Susie.
Thanks, Commando. I love our weekly member moment. It is such an inspiration. And I also love being here with Super Shopper Faye, who's helping with all our foodie questions. Now this week, Faye, we're talking about yogurts.
Yeah, we are. I love my yogurt, but wow, there are so many different types and the labels are really tricky if you ask me. So how on earth do you know which one to go for?
You are right, there are so many it can get confusing, and today you've brought the three main types with you. We've got our regular yogurt, low fat, and then our diet yogurts. If we start with the diet yogurts, now they are particularly low in calories, so they're great for members who are on the Express program. They do use artificial sweeteners, which helps to keep the calories low. Then the next most common type, of course, is the low fat, and they are the most commonly consumed yogurt. They do have less saturated fat than regular yogurt and are a great choice for every day. And finally, our regular yogurts that do have more calories and more fat and hence shouldn't be eaten every day, perhaps once or twice a week.
Are there any rules about what to look for on the labels?
I think we would all agree that nutritional labels can be extremely confusing. So the most simple advice I can give our members is to always compare the calorie amounts, and the best advice is to always look at the 100-gram column, because basically we want to get the most bang for our calorie buck.
Speaking of serving size, how much yogurt should we be having?
Portion size is a real issue when it comes to yogurt, because if you consider that a regular tub of low-fat yogurt teamed with a banana has about 350 to 400 calories, you really can overdo it. So a general rule of thumb is about 100 grams of yogurt is a good size serve.
So how much exactly is 100 grams?
It's about half a cup. So another great technique is always just to get your measuring cups out and keep tabs on exactly how much that you're having.
Now the other product that I grabbed from the deli is this fresh yogurt with the yummy fruit on top. It's similar to the yogurt that you get when you buy a fruit salad. Is that good?
You have to be careful, and they're what I call dessert yogurts, because if you check the labels, they're often claiming 94, 96% fat-free, but when you check the ingredient list, they do contain a lot of cream, sugar and other ingredients, so you really have to watch the calories. So always check the label and keep it under your calorie targets for the day. A better choice even is a natural unsweetened yogurt, which still has a rich, thick flavour, but without the fat and the extra calories.
Okay, so to summarise with the yogurts?
So the key points to remember, always look for diet or low-fat varieties of yogurt. Compare your calories so you get the most bang for your calorie buck, and most importantly, always watch your portion, so aiming for about 100 grams or half a cup.
And look out for traps like cream and extra sugars in the dessert yogurts.
Exactly. Faith, thank you so much for joining us and doing all this fantastic shopping.
You're welcome.
Today, we've had a great meeting. We've dispelled the yogurt myths and discovered some quick and easy ways to make healthy food taste great. Don't forget, our live chat will stay open for another 15 minutes, so there's plenty of time to trade tips with other members. And join us again next week when we'll be discussing fast weight loss with our new Express program. Look forward to seeing you then.